We did it. We did it. We got one. I didn't have one last stream. I got the old. I think this is the Arctic vibe. Vibing on the Arcticness, or is it the Arctic? Yeah. It's kind of like a. Kind of like a wild berry flavor. Wild berry is my favorite, by the way. We got a show today, everybody. Welcome. We're gonna do the things that we always do, or don't always do them. We sometimes do them. We try to do them once a week. Sometimes they're draining, they're exhausting. You know who else is exhausting? Angela Curry. What's going on, Angela?
Nice segue.
We try.
Tell me how you really feel. No, I'm just kidding. I am exhausted.
Probably.
You're not far off.
I mean, it is the weekend, busy time.
It is. It's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, for some people. I used to work retail, and they don't care.
No, they don't.
They don't care.
No, retail and restaurants, but you get paid. You get paid nicely, so.
We didn't.
That's.
We got a regular pay rate.
You get like time and a half, dude.
No, they don't care. Are you kidding me? Now, at my job that I'm at now, yes, we can go in on Labor Day and we'll get, I think, actually double time. But Jason likes his sleep. So
no, yeah, you need that balance.
But we have a great one today, a wonderful one. We got some new peeps. I like meeting new people. I like meeting new creators, new artists. And we got two wonderful human beings. Okay, it's not fair of me to say they're wonderful. I've never met them before, but I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume. So it's
always good.
Yeah, we have.
They're friends of friends, right? So
they're friends of friends. They were on with K-pop, and we like K-pop. So yeah, we do. So we got. Without further the dillies, we got Joshua. What's up, Joshua?
Hello. To call me a wonderful genius, a wonderful genius. I'm gonna tell everybody that you said I was a wonderful genius.
Do it.
But to call me a wonderful person at all is extremely generous.
Oh no, we're gonna learn more about you here in a minute. So
we also got Will. What's going on, Will?
Hey, how's it going? I moderately wonderful at times.
You're a modest human being then. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Like we were saying, you guys were on with K-pop, and she said, "Hey, hit up Jason. He doesn't know what he's doing half the time anyway." So, yeah,
he tries.
Without fail, I try. Yeah, but thank you K-pop for suggesting y'all to me. And hopefully we're going to shoot the breeze, talk about some stuff, hopefully get some eyes on the website, and hopefully get people in the chat. Just like I said, it's Sunday. Usually people are coming. What are you doing?
I can't see the chat on the
Hold on. Yeah, sorry, guys. Who was it? Ink Spots, I think, was having issues with this too, where he couldn't see the chat, and I had to kind of do the thing that shows the chat, which I don't understand.
Are we back to like how it was before, where I'm yelling at the? I can show my comment. Hello, Omen.
I was gonna say I see our comment, which I guess that Omen Screaming Raven is in the chat. Hello, Omen. We
he's in the chat, but I can't show his comment. I'm sad.
Do this.
See? Oh well.
Yeah. See, this is what's going on. Restream, you suck. I pay for your services.
Come on. Anyway, okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Angela, pull up YouTube. Please.
Got it up.
You got it up. Okay.
Aye.
So if there are any questions for anybody, please shout them out. Angela, we'll say hi. Omen is in the chat right now.
Omen is here. Yep. There'll be people.
Omen, share this out.
They will be.
That makes Jason angry.
Rolling in.
All right. Well, we're gonna hide the chat for now because that's no good. So, but guys, we're here. We're still gonna run with the show, as chaotic as life is. Well, even Will, you had to update your computer before.
Yeah. Photoshop was still open when it tried to update last night. And it's like, do you want to save this thing you were working on? I was like, well, yeah. And then it was a short update, but I got here and we made it.
Well, and like I was telling Joshua, it happens every time right about before you're about to go live. Every time. Like it seems it happens with me constantly. I'm like, oh, the internet went out like 2 minutes before the show. I'm like,
oh yes. Yeah. That happens.
Yeah. Yep. But like you said, you made it. You're here, and the technical glitches do happen. Like Angela just highlighted, maybe the chat is just delayed because there's Omen right there. So
yeah,
yeah. So that could be it. Omen, cheer this out. Welcome, Omen. So, like I said, K-pop.
Oh, sorry.
had you guys on, and something I like to ask before, well, not before, but during the show to get to know people. Joshua, Will, you can go in any order you want. What got you into comic books? Do you remember your first comic book you ever bought in this journey?
Oh man, this was like this goes back to like 1991 probably.
Nice.
And an old buddy of mine who passed sadly over the last couple of years, had the Spider-Man run from Todd McFarlane, Spider-Man 1 through 3, I think. Was that the Torment run?
Torment run, yeah.
And I was like, this is amazing. And so we would ride our bikes to the local grocery store that had the spinner rack. And I think my first comic book was actually X-Men #1, Chris Claremont, Jim Lee.
Oh, nice.
So that got me hooked pretty early.
Do you know which cover? Do you remember which cover?
I think I started with the Magneto one, but eventually I talked my parents into driving me to the comic shop 30 minutes away. And I managed to get all the covers, including the gatefold one.
Yep, the deluxe one.
So that was pretty cool. I think I still have those, actually.
Nice.
I got into those. At the time, I was drawing Ninja Turtles, and then I just really started to emulate Jim Lee's style and like most of the artists that branched off to Image. I was copying their style, even Liefeld to a degree.
To a degree, yeah. He has great energy.
I didn't know.
Well, he has great energy. I always say I'm not a Liefeld fan either. I've always said I don't like his style, but I like the energy he puts into it.
Yeah, he's a very enthusiastic artist, and God damn it, he's trying. He's getting more work than me, professionally.
You know what? He made it. He's successful, and he did the thing. You know, Joshua, do you remember?
Yeah. So growing up, we didn't really get any comics of our own. So it was, Mama was not buying me comic books, and I was not receiving any sort of allowance to buy them for myself. So whenever I had friends that I would go to visit, while we were taking turns on, Sonic or Narc or whatever we were playing, whenever it was my friend's turn, I would be just reading whatever they had, whatever I could get my hands on. And I remember the story that really, really sold me on video game or on comics, and the story which really, really ruined Superman for me was I read The Death of Superman, and I was like, this is one of the greatest things I've ever read. The idea that Superman is actually capable of sacrificing something, that there's something great enough to make it an actual challenge for him. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever read in my life. And then Superman came back, and I said, this is the worst thing I've ever read. That was like everything beautiful about this story.
He came back with the mullet and the...
Oh, dude, I hated the mullet.
Well, I know mullets are back in now with the young kids.
I don't understand it. I don't get it. Don't ask me why. I hated the Superman mullet look. Some people liked it. The Nick Cage one that was supposed to happen, he was supposed to have the Superman mullet.
Those costume tests were pretty cool.
Dude, I would like to see the Nick Cage Superman. I really would. And the funny thing about that Death of Superman one, there's not that much dialogue in that. Like, from what I remember, right? There wasn't too many words. So it's funny how that sparked you.
It was a whole lot of punching.
It was a lot of punching, a lot of splash pages, which is dope. Like, it is a good comic. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But, as being a writer, it's kind of funny.
So I was a writer for I mostly have spent my time as a writer for music. I write songs and I compose. And so that is mostly what I've been doing. And I didn't even really ever consider starting to write comic books until Southtown happened. And even that was like, people were telling me, hey, you should take this story and should make it something. Well, I don't have the attention span to write a novel. Someone told me, hey, you should write a comic book. Well, I can't draw. So, and then I met a friend who introduced me to Will, and it wasn't until that point that the idea of it becoming a comic book even started.
So what music was what you were mainly writing, like lyrics and stuff like that? What genre, what type of music?
So my first band was kind of a punk band. They're punk the same way that like Paramore is punk. We were like a little heavier than Paramore and Fall Out Boy and all that stuff. So not exactly like Fugazi and bad brain stuff. But we were that sort of 2000s emo punk, and then I was in a metal band after that, and then after that, like I wrote a little bit of pop music just to make some coworkers happy. And now I currently have a bluegrass act and a synthwave duo that I'm a part of.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So you were mainly into the music thing, and then you know how long ago did you meet Will?
So I met a friend at a synthwave concert, a band called The Midnight, and I was in the crowd, sort of next to this woman and her partner, and the friend that I had brought with me was infinitely more sociable than I was, and so when we went to dinner afterwards, she invited these two friends, Allie, who was the colorist on the first two issues, and she originally was going to be the illustrator, and then in 2021 or 2022,
I think it was like early 2022.
Okay. It's like so the tail end of like the shut-in COVID.
Yeah. I think we were actually able to meet at a bar.
Nice.
Or at a brewery. I think we were masks up until we sat at a table, and then everything was fine.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, but yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Really quick, Stipling Vaughn comes chiming in. Hello, Stipling. Or Vaughn? I guess Vaughn, right? Anyway, the problem with the death of Superman was he was brought back too soon. Superboy and Steel were selling like hotcakes.
Oh, it had some great offshoots. Yeah.
There were 4 rotating Superman titles at the time. I think there was like Superman, Man of Steel. They created Superboy, who was like a young clone. And then there was Action Comics, which had like the Last Son of Krypton Superman. I can't remember his actual deal. There's a whole video that Max Landis did that I refuse to watch anymore because he's a creep about the whole thing. But yeah, like the alternate Superman filling in for Superman story was really cool, but they only did it for like 4 months.
Yeah,
and then they brought it back.
And then they had like the blue and red Superman.
Oh my god, that was weird. It was like lightning powers, but red.
Yeah, it was really odd. Yeah,
that was I didn't follow it because it looked dumb, and I don't know where it was. Because they retconned that real quick.
They did. Well, dude, you're not gonna kill your main. It's like killing Spider-Man, or you're not gonna kill your main dude. You're just not gonna do it. Like even I knew as a kid, once he was dead, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, but he's not gonna stay dead. Like, it's Superman. They can't have a DC Comics without Superman. And I'm not a big Superman fan. I like the movies. Okay, I haven't seen the newest one yet, but
I really like the new one.
The newest one is my favorite.
To Joshua's point of him needing vulnerability to be interesting, they gave him that, and I think it like people say he's weak, but like it makes sense in context of the story. I won't spoil anything, but
we've had, like, because I'm not a Superman fan, but my friends and I have plenty of in-depth discussions about the character, and like because we were mainly talking about alien. Could an alien face hugger impregnate Superman with an embryo? We were going through all the nerd crap.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great. But but I was looking into things. I'm like, because of this thing and that thing and this, I'm like, technically, Superman just needs to stand there because he doesn't need to breathe. He doesn't need to sleep. Doesn't need to eat. Doesn't need to do anything. So he can just stand there, wait for everything to die, and win. I'm like, that's a dumb character. I'm like, that's
yes.
But to make him flawed then and give him a little bit more weakness to him, you need that. A character needs some kind of weakness or anything to have growth. Because that's how we kind of relate to these characters in general. Like, nobody's Thor. You can't summon lightning from the sky, but if he has a weakness, that's an emotional weakness or a mental, weakness or something like that crutch, a caring kindness to him, that helps you relate to the character. That's the only way to relate to Superman, is if he has some kind of a weaker, vulnerable part to him. Even also physically too, though. So it does help.
I actually noticed that we at work. I work at a bar, and we like to put movies on sometimes. And I randomly threw on The Wolverine last night, and I realized that like all the Wolverine solo movies, they have to depower him to make him interesting at all. Like he loses his healing powers in the Wolverine. He's slowly dying of adamantium poisoning in Logan. And otherwise they put him on a team and he has to just be like a pissant and run off on his own until they convince him to come back and save the day.
When we were all growing up, Wolverine wasn't that OP. Like you could kill Wolverine, not easily, but you could kill him. You could hurt him. You can maim him. They just made him just this next level deity where like you can't, drowning him, I think is the only, or throwing him into space. There's like the only 2 ways to kill him now. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it was after they brought him back from having his entire skeleton ripped out.
Yeah. I remember the old, I'm not even sure how old it was. It's like an 8 or 10 minute Superman movie where he saves like a circus or something like that. And I remember that movie, like back then Superman was kind of not invulnerable either. Like his big things he was doing was like stopping some lava from falling on a group of people, and it like seemed like it was stressful and hard for him, or like fighting a bear. And it's like, yeah, these are impressive things, but he is not like this absolutely like boringly invincible dude.
They throughout time they definitely made a lot of the characters way more advanced than what is just beyond comprehension. It's like what cap do they have to their powers at this point? There's no gauging it. Like they could just do it, and they make it happen for the situation at hand. You got to keep it structured so that way, like they're limited to this amount of capabilities, and after that, the villain will overpower. That's the whole point of having a villain. Like he can maybe win.
Or it's a character like the Hulk, where it's like the character is kind of his own enemy, and to where that character, in certain ways, arguably, like the stronger the Hulk gets, sometimes the more interesting it is, because the Hulk is not just the hero; he is often also the villain. Like you put him in the World Breaker situation, and him being as powerful as he is becomes a problem. So it's like, but it's like for Superman, it's like this whole thing of being a paragon of virtue, but it's like the person for whom arguably being a paragon of virtue costs him nothing.
Yeah. It's like I said, you got to write Superman. That's why a lot of the movies in the past have kind of with Superman have failed a little bit. You got to write the character correctly with the balance between Clark and Superman. There is a balance there. It's like Batman and Bruce. That's why the Batman wasn't really all that good. There was no Bruce. It was just this powered, like the weakling little twig of a Batman that running around. It just didn't. I still enjoyed the movie for what it was, but it had plenty of flaws. But and this is the other thing.
It was missing that dichotomy for sure.
It was missing it. And here's the other thing, though. A lot of people are just like the movie. It's like you realize there's like 80 years worth of lore that like we should be talking about in general, but most of the time the topic is because of pop culture in itself and the times that dude, in the 90s you get made fun of, picked on, thrown into a locker if you were found with a comic book or wearing a comic book shirt. Like, forget about it. Like now, dude, I was watching a clip or something. I can't remember where it's from, but it wasn't that long. It was like a year and a half, 2 years ago or something. But they were like, oh, and then Wolverine's going to beat it. And the whole audience goes, yay. I'm like, man, when I was a kid, if I said Wolverine, you guys laugh at me and pick on me. But now because Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, you're all like, look at Wolverine.
I got picked on because I thought Cable was cool.
Cable is cool.
Cable is cool.
Oh man, the concept of Cable is great. Hulk says Omen. He's saying Hulk is an interesting one, which much like Thanos in the aspect that I think that they aren't necessarily a hero or a villain, but an element, a force of nature, if you will.
Well, yeah, much like Godzilla, which
oh no, man!
Godzilla was pretty good.
Man, we should have bet on when he would mention Godzilla. We should have taken bets to see how long it would take.
Well, Omen Screaming Raven was also there for when I completely took over a conversation on K-pops.
You should talk with Shelby Robertson, Dan Plagle, Billy
Don't
Basco, all Godzilla fans.
Don't talk to Aaron Lepresti. Aaron Lepresti thinks he looks like a cat. He has this idea of what he looks like, and it's very funny. But no, I like Godzilla. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, you like Godzilla. Shelby, Billy, and Plagle,
and the Diaz brothers. Diaz brothers love him
So
too.
I have a tattoo of Anguirus, who is my absolute ride or die because he's the best.
Cable stole my TV is what Polisart says. In regards to there's a Diaz brothers. I don't know if you've heard of them. They have like a 3D printer. They made like a 6-foot Godzilla statue thing.
They're ridiculous.
It's big. I might be making it bigger than it is, but it's big.
Well,
they're tall.
But now Godzilla is even fighting the Justice League and like the Avengers, so they're tossing them into these comic books and stuff. Which, like I said, I'm like, whatever. It is kind of a fun thing. Like I said, my friends and I were talking about Aliens versus Superman. Like, and it did happen. There was a book about it, but we were like, that's a little different because he was depowered in that series. You have to depower these ultra powerful characters. And that's why when you create characters like you individuals have done, such as yourselves, there has to be flaws within them. They're just no one's perfect, no one's infallible like it on this planet. So in order to make them interesting, you can't make him such. Like that's what Dr. Manhattan is even still a good character because he has that weakness of no emotion. You know what I mean? Like he just doesn't care. And that makes him flawed. You're like, well, I could see how he could not care. Like I don't care sometimes, but yeah. So you two met. You met at this a tavern, a pub, if you will. Partook in some beverages. So is that where you developed the concept of Southtown, or Joshua? Was this something you had in your head? And you're like, you know what? Did you bring a portfolio with you? How did this meeting go about?
So when I first I worked at a bank for 9 years and I was exceedingly burnt out. I'm not really built for an office job. And I had been there for a while. I was very burnt out. And I started just sending emails back and forth with my friends, sort of just coming up with silly ideas where we were sort of like hackers in a cyberpunk gang.
Ooh, nice.
Eventually those stories started getting more complex. There started developing sort of storylines, and a world was really kind of getting built up. And eventually some friends were telling me, hey, you should like actually write this into a thing and not just harass me all day with emails.
So it's like Fight Club. You're emailing your people, the worker bee is the slave and stuff like that.
Exactly. And so eventually, like I was like, well, I can't really make this into a comic book because I can't draw. And a friend was like, well, I do. So it got introduced, and that friend who was an artist didn't really work out for the series. That didn't really necessarily have the bandwidth. And then I met Allie, and it was similarly like she was going to draw for the comic, but her art style and mine and my sort of vision for the comic weren't super compatible. But then she introduced me to Will. And by the time I met Will, I had already written at least 5 or 6 issues of the comic.
Oh, wow.
And I had to go afterwards, like, and sort of restructure them entirely because I didn't know how to write a script.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to write what I wanted to happen, but I didn't know how to. Hello, Crooked.
Yeah,
how's it going?
Crooked's getting drawn into issue 4.
Actually. Oh, nice. Yeah. Crooked's a good cat. We like him around here. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and but yeah, so
Anyway.
I had to restructure it, but I had half of the first story arc already written by the time I met Will, and now I have like I'm in the middle of writing like the 21st issue.
Jeez, nice.
So before the meeting, it was maybe a few weeks before the meeting, Joshua had actually sent over the first like 5 scripts maybe for the first 5 issues, as well as like the character Bible. So I was able to kind of like get some character sketches out and bring them along to just kind of like, and then talk about the project and flesh it out and kind of that.
Nice.
Kind of thing. So I was able to kind of, and there's actually for a bunch of our Kickstarter backers from this past thing, there's going to be a zine with those original concept sketches in it.
Oh, cool! I like that. Yeah, I like
included.
zines.
So
Yeah, I buy zines here and there, and I if I find them, I tend to pick them up because I love the concept of like a little mini book, and I'm a big fan. Angela knows this, chat knows this, of the behind the scenes stuff, the designs and stuff. There's an artist named Derek Hess.
Shit! My brother bought me a T-shirt of Godzilla on a skateboard.
Oh, nice. So you know his style then.
Cool.
And and to me that his style alone is kind of like blueprint style. Like it's very sketchy, very loose, very energetic. And that's to me is what the behind the scenes illustrations are, like the design phase and stuff. It has that energy to it that it gets polished out sometimes. And it's kind of unfortunate. But I love the behind the scenes stuff. It's great that you're gonna offer that.
Yeah,
so
there's I've been reading Batman The Last Halloween.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
which,
Tim Sale.
Oh, cool.
Since Tim Sale passed away,
they have different artists
had it written, but they're doing different artists every issue. And at the end of each issue, they are showing like the art progress of how they built out certain big pages. So
I have to go. I don't know. I might be missing a few of those because it's still going.
It's got 2 issues left, I think.
Yeah, so I'm probably missing a couple of them.
The first issue was actually drawn by one of my favorite artists, Eduardo Rizzo, who did the entirety of 100 Bullets.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, nice. Dude, yeah, I was gonna say, first off, how long have you been, I guess, illustrating? You've probably been drawing your whole life like me, but how long have you been working on the comic related material?
So I did a comic book my senior year of high school as my like senior project. It was my way to kind of like shortcut around doing any more math or science, which I was terrible at. So I made like a 20-page comic book and like self-published it myself and sold them to a few of my friends and that kind of thing.
Oh, nice.
The last convention I went to in New York, which is actually where we're going to be in November, so a bunch of my friends still ask me about when that second issue is coming out.
Hey, you could always still bring it back. You know,
it's 25 years on, but you know,
and also you could even have like Josh look at it, or Joshua, sorry, man,
no problem.
And maybe like have him like, hey, maybe we could do this, and he maybe toss in a few ideas, and then you can make that another thing on top of Southbound.
I might make us a sign for the table that says proof Will Smith can draw a second issue, because we'll have 3 out by that point.
Nice.
Yeah.
But so I did that in high school. I went to college in Minneapolis for comic book illustration, but I didn't last more than a semester.
Smart, dude. I went to art college. I regret it. I graduated and I'm in debt for so much money. It's ridiculous.
I was 19. I had no idea what I was doing. I was 1,000 miles from home, and I was just like, I'm free. And then I didn't realize that I had to actually go to class too.
Yeah.
But I met some cool folks that I'm not still in touch with at all. But maybe one. I think I'm in touch with one of them. But so then I moved back out east and kind of stuck to, bouncing from job to job, that kind of thing. Always came back to drawing in some capacity, but then in around like 2012 or 13, I kind of like dug back in and got more serious about producing more artwork consistently. And then, I wanted to write my own project, which I'm still kind of hashing out the details on. But then, happenstantially, in the midst of COVID, after doing pet portraits for several of my friends,
I know the gig. Yeah.
met up with Joshua, and we've been at it pretty consistently. And honestly, like drawing this much for as long as I have now at this point, like 3 years on. Looking at the issue 1 to issue 3 comparison is wild.
I was gonna say, like, and Angela, you have yet to peruse them because I was an idiot and didn't, do it ahead of time. But I was able to look. I read and looked at issues 1 and 2, and you can even see, like, you're like even me. I did my first comic, Absolute One. And then I'm like, oh, I made these mistakes here or there. I had to retool this. And then the second issue, there's more polished parts of it. It's even better. That you could see that jump from 1 to 2, even with you guys. Like you're like, okay, we need to polish this here. Like, I've been drawing more and more, and it's been getting a little tighter here. I'm focusing my camera angles differently. I even when I messaged Joshua, I'm like, the lettering just from issue 1 to 2 was like a big jump. I'm like, oh, the word bubbles, everything. I'm like, it's a learning process as you go, especially if you've never done it before. Done it before. like I've drawn comic characters and I've drawn comic things, but I've never done a comic in my life. Like
this guy has been integral to my process.
I'm gonna make him.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna make
a
him big.
little posable guy.
Leave that up there.
Bring him back. See it. Oh, look at that!
This was an Instagram ad. He has interchangeable hands for various stuff.
I think I remember that ad. Did he come with a sword?
Nice.
There's a sword. There are several guns.
Yeah, I thought there was one that came with a sword.
And yeah, I bought the male and female model. But the female model is clearly meant for anime because it's like half the size and half as posable.
Yeah, I mean, quite often.
Every once in a while.
I've named him Terrence, and I use Terrence for pretty much every reference that I need.
Yeah, I tend to, if I really need one and I can't find it on Google or something, I'll just pose myself. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll just set up a camera. I'm like, okay. Even for females, so like, I'll do it.
For the splash page in issue 1, where the character is like laying there in the alley, that was me. I took a picture of myself laying against my fiance's dresser.
Nice. And that's how you got to do it. And yeah, and Joshua, like even the writing styles and stuff is very, you were picking things up as you went. And I really liked how you integrated this one thing. I don't want to spoil things, so I'm kind of being vague, but you integrated a thing and then all of a sudden the thing changed up and I'm like, oh, well, okay, let's go there then. I really liked what you did with that. That was really cool. So I thank you for sending me those, by the way. Really
cool. My writing was, a lot of it was influenced predominantly by TV. A lot of the shows that I grew up watching, like Pretender and Alias and Chuck, where they're there's like a little bit of thriller in them. I'd always enjoyed, like, every one of these issues has something of kind of like a cold open to it that followed by the title card, and then it gets into the rest of the story, and it kind of has like a 3-act setup after that. And a lot of that was very much like, between that and just like being a folk music writer with bluegrass and all that stuff, I was influenced a lot by just like folk storytelling and everything as well. Because I, after growing up reading comics, like my friends' comics, and just stealing them where I could, and also often not getting consistent storylines because I would just pick up whatever issues they happened to have on hand. But I didn't really get back into comics in a big way until like COVID.
Right. Yeah, COVID really, like, we bring this up all the time. Like, COVID was the boom of like stuff like this, people getting to meet each other, develop ideas and concepts and creativity, and putting out products, like, I mean, whether it be music or books or scripts, whatever it may be. Because even my first book, I was like, okay, well, I'm stuck inside, I might as well make my comic, and I launched in 2020. So it, like, that happened with a lot of people, I think, and it really sparked this sense of creativity amongst. We were all stuck inside. It was almost like a renaissance. I think it could have been bigger than what it was had people took advantage of it more.
If they hadn't forced us to go back to work so soon. I finally had the time to like do things, like work on it. I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah,
40-hour work week.
Well, and that's another thing that we talk about is like we have 2 jobs. We do a 40+ hour work week, and then you come home and you work on the books or writing them, drawing them, or do whatever. And plus you have people have family lives sometimes, stuff and all that other thing. So it's like the time got sucked away that you initially had. So now a lot of the books are, even if they're in production, before they go live or whatever, it's like there's more of a gap sometimes now, and it is unfortunate. But at the same time, fortunate. People need to get out and play, even though inside good, outside bad. But it was a weird time, especially for a lot of people, and I think being stuck inside really helped people realize what they could do, the potential they could have. And like you said, like that, you were stuck inside, so you might as well, hey, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was also being in Richmond during all that. There was a lot that was pulling from individual interests, because I lived on the streets that down which there were rioters and everything like that, and so on the one hand, it sometimes made it really hard to focus on personal pursuits, and on the other hand, kind of represents a little bit of the punk rock energy that Richmond has that it doesn't necessarily get its due for all the time, and it's part of why Southtown is set in Richmond, because I was like, there's a lot of personality in this city that and a lot of sort of punk rock spirit that doesn't necessarily get talked about on the wider scale.
I could say there are two very influential punk bands from Richmond specifically.
Yeah.
War and Avail.
There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't know where they were from.
Yeah.
And we've got
over the James is about the James River.
Yeah. And we,
referencing it.
Yeah, my wife and I have, had drinks a number of times with John Campbell from Lamb of God.
Wow, nice.
He used to come into my wife's restaurant all the time, and Chris Adler's kids went to school a block from our house, so we saw him every once in a blue moon.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so there's a whole lot of attitude in this city. It's funny. It's VCU is one of the best public music colleges in the country. That's where I went, and I also did not finish my music degree because there's nothing more pointless than going to college for 4 years to learn to sing opera, and then that also not getting you a job in opera because no one cares about your degree. They want to know how you sound hitting B flat.
And that's what I tell a lot of people, because like I said, I went to the art college and I did the thing that I was told you're supposed to do. No one cares. I tell everybody on YouTube, like, if you want to learn how to do like any kind of artistic thing or whatever, just go on YouTube, watch tutorials, watch videos. You could even learn like singing methods through vocal coaches online, like through YouTube. Like nobody wants to see your degree. Hey, I need to see your diploma before you start singing for me. It's like, no, can you sing? They want to hear it. So it's a kind of a pointless endeavor to go to college for. It's fun. I had a great time, but it was the finances are not worth it in the long run, and I'm forever going to be in debt forever.
Yeah, it was something where going for classical voice, I think there are some things that are valuable about being a school setting for that, because one of the biggest things at VCU was theoretically for every credit hour, I was supposed to be spending 2 hours outside of class working on music, and I had 15 credit hours. So theoretically, I was supposed to be spending about 45 hours a day on music, which is of course impossible. But I think more than anything, that was designed to sort of teach you the point of, hey, listen, if you're going to be at this music school, you cannot be doing anything with your life except music. And the regimen and the discipline was super helpful, and being around other musicians. But it was also I flunked out of a few of my classes because I flunked out of a class called Convocation, where what you have to do to pass the class is show up.
and you didn't show up.
Because I was always, I had concerts and I had work. And actually, awesome one. Fredericksburg is where I was born, and I'm a truck driver, and I used to have a route that sent me to Springfield and Dahlgren.
Oh,
so
very nice.
Who knows? Maybe we've run into each other.
My true crime podcast, they recently did a 4-part series about serial killer truck drivers. So not to say that you are one.
Listen, if you
Venn diagram's real close.
Listen, if you want my confession, you're going to have to go to southtowncomic.com.
Nice.
You're going to have to check out our community.
Check it out. Link is in the top of the chat and in the description below. Check it out. We're going to pull it up in a minute here. But no, going to college was fun. And the funny thing was, I went to a visual art college. Singing is an art, writing is an art. Like, there are different arts. People tend to just say, if you say artist, people do tend to think like, Will and me. They think those kind of artists, like people that draw. It's like, well, music is an art, writing is an art. But I went to art college, and I found that because I was fast at what I could do, I would just not, I guess, party, but like hang out, do whatever I wanted throughout the week. The night before the class was the assignment was due, I would do like a 9x12 just painting, just like do it. I'd settle with the C+, and I would pass, and I would be fine. Yeah. So it was kind of like, this is stupid. Now, I did have some fantastic teachers. Don't get me wrong. I'm still friends with one of them, especially to this day. He's amazing teacher, amazing artist. But it was a waste of time. It was a waste of money, I should say, not time. It was just a waste of money because of the people I met. And like, Will, you were pretty smart and like, you mean like, yeah, I'm out. You know what I mean? But you can develop it as you go, though.
My parents were like, we're not going to send you there again. I'm like, okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. But you were saying, Will, that you were influenced by the cat who I'm not the best with names. I even had to look up this person I was going to reference because their style, and I'm a fan of their work. But you're a fan of the guy who does 100 Bullets, and also Hewlett. The guy, the tank girl guy.
Oh, Jamie Hewlett. Yeah,
I can see a little bit.
He does the gorillas now. Like,
He
does that. There's.
I can see a little bit in there.
There's also what's his name? Brett Parsons has done some Tank Girl. He also did the series that Rick Remender and Brian Posehn did earlier this year called Grommets, about skating in the 80s.
Nice.
It's a great like 10-issue series, just like slice of life kind of like thing. It's very like metal punk rock,
nice,
but in a like an 80s Tony Hawk kind of way.
Even with Southtown, like looking at it, you get that punk metal edge vibe to it, just looking and reading it. You know what I mean? Like you definitely get that, like, that influence that sparked this whole concept in a way. Now, is Southtown the only thing you two are going to do together, or do you guys have plans for other things?
I mean, Southtown's
it's a lot. One book is a lot. I'm just asking, Well, we're not all Jack Kirby. We can't just do like 10 books a month.
I am working on I'm chipping away at a script right now, which is sort of like a post-apocalyptic political folk tale.
Okay.
It's got some sci-fi stuff in there, but I'm still, like I said, I'm still chipping away at that story. But at the moment, I mean, Joshua's not written anything new that I know of.
No, we've talked about. I've had some other comic ideas, and I've written the cold open of one of them, but definitely, like, my heart is like predominantly in Southtown, and like I said, like Will is finishing up the third issue and getting ready to start on the fourth. Nice. This first story arc is 10 issues long. I am in the middle of writing the 21st issue of the comic, and that is they've already finished a second storyline that's another 10 issues long. This is going to be another one of three sort of parallel storylines that are each going to be about like 5-6 issues long, and I have plans for what will probably end up being at least 60 or 70 issues. Nice. So it'll be going a while.
It's gonna be and that's great. I love that. I love that you have you have this to be, this is your thing, this is your baby. I like that. And what I like is that you're having Will on for the foreseeable future, the bulk of them, but even like this run of this one, because I was on with the Lucid Comic Productions, and I was just watching them actually, and he even said, he's like, this artist is finishing up this run, and then the next story arc they do have a different artist, but at least they kept the same visual, because I hate it. Hey, you have a fill-in artist, I get it. Like I said, this isn't the 60s where the penciler was doing super loose pencils and the inker was kind of mainly focused on the inks, and that's where all the fine-tuning came in. This is now where the penciler's like getting in the high detail and the finishes, so they can only really do usually one, maybe two a month on a monthly book. But I hate it when there's a fill-in artist, even if they're good. I'm like, I'm buying this book for this artist writer combo. That's what I'm buying it for. Yeah. And once you break that apart, I'm just like, even if they come back. So to me, finish out your story arc, then maybe even do a fill-in, or even change up your artist. If Will gets like, look, I got to focus on my own thing. We did great. Have fun. Or if you guys are like, hey, I want to do all 700 copies that you have planned out, fantastic.
Yeah.
Stay with it, I say, because I like it when the artist sticks with the writer. Because you also, you build up a dynamic. You build up almost like a hive mind.
I honestly couldn't imagine what Saga would look like without Fiona Staples.
Yeah,
like if they changed, if she stepped off for an issue, and the hiatuses that they go on are frustrating from a reader standpoint.
Yes,
and from an artist standpoint, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And like Brian K. Vaughan went on breaks during Why the Last Man too, but they kept the same artist like through the run, and like if and I think the only other exception to that would be Fables, because I think the only time Mark Buckingham stepped away was when there was like a one shot that was like not even related to the
Well, and that's different. And like even still, like the Long Halloween that's out now, not the original run, but like the theme is a different artist.
Yeah, and a lot of those artists have a Tim Sale kind of.
They inject that Tim Sale vibe into it. Yeah. So and that's cool, but that's the whole concept behind it. Is like Heavy Metal Magazine. There would be different artists in there constantly rotating and doing different things. Yeah, you still have different people, the same people doing some stories, but it still would be just an amalgamation of just a whole bunch of different creatives having fun. And so it does. Some titles do call for it, but if I'm buying like, when you're buying X-Men and you're seeing Jim Lee constantly, then all of a sudden you see, I don't know, like somebody that's
that was one of the things that kind of drove me away from the mainline X books back in the day, other than being like relentlessly bullied in school. But like you would have Jim Lee for like 8 issues, and then they would switch to like Andy Kubert, who in his own right is a fantastic artist, but not what I'm used to seeing. It was jarring. It was like
it's like if you do Jim Lee and then like for 8 issues, and then all of a sudden you have Jim Valentino, you're like, I don't want this. No. Like, even if Chris Claremont's writing it, you're kind of like, look, I guess I'll get it for the story. Cool, but Jim Lee better come back. So and that's the thing with comics, and like Joshua's got like a burden to bear because comics are a very visual medium, and so he really has to keep them drawn in there and the story going, especially if the art changes or somebody like because it's a very visual medium. So if somebody becomes like somebody loves Will's style, like, oh, I love this, and then you're like, well, Will has to go do his own thing now. We love him, but and then you're like, we're gonna bring on John Doe. People are like, I don't want John Doe, so you got to really hold on to them with your writing.
I mean, actually, for the foreseeable future, that's where I am. And if I do end up working on my own side project, it's going to take a backseat to what Southtown is. So
nice.
I've said ever since Will first showed me the concept artist, because like I remember we had one of our previous people who was initially going to be an illustrator. She brought me concept arts, and like her art was fantastic, but she like I said, like this started with me writing emails about me and my friends being hackers in a cyberpunk game, and so a lot of these core characters are based on people that I know personally. One of them's based on me, and when she showed me the original concept art for the character based on me, my initial thought was he is way too pretty. Like he is way too good looking, and it like wasn't a self-esteem thing. It's like my characters should be a little bit of a mess. They're like this is meant to you can't have punk rock energy and zaddy energy in the same thing. You can't have like you can't have a really well put together like bear of a guy who also looks like he knows where to get you fentanyl. So,
and Will's style definitely has that grit to it.
I like to say that what's inspired me, especially since taking on the colors in issue 3, I want it to be bright, but I also want it to look dirty. Like, you don't want to touch any.
With this IP, you need it to be.
It reminds me a little bit of like some darker elements of like the John Wick series or Blade Runner 2049 or the original Blade Runner. Like a lot of that 80s sci-fi with the deep neons and the stuff that influenced a lot of the cyberpunk aesthetic. It's like it's so cool, and when it gets recreated nowadays, it's so polished. But you go back and watch a John Carpenter movie, and is not polished at all.
Which
I love it. So I was working on a page last night, and I like to put on different movies while I'm watching it or while I'm drawing. And this is the third time I've put in Blade Runner 2049 while working on a page for issue 3. So
nice.
Yeah.
I just keep going back to that one visually. It's just so cool.
No, I could honestly see why you'd be putting in any Blade Runner. And so yeah, let's work. I know your cat turns into a gremlin, so after an hour.
I'm in good shape. We're doing.
Okay. No, but yeah. So Southtown, we've been talking about it a little bit here or there, but Joshua will tell us about Southtown. What's it about?
Yeah.
Take it away.
All right. So, like this says, the year is 2072, and Metacorps, which are these. Richmond, Virginia, has evolved into a massive megacity called River City. Anyone who's familiar with the Richmond area, it's become this massive urban landscape that stretches all the way north to south from like Doswell, all the way down to like Colonial Heights and Hopewell, and east to west from like Mechanicsville all the way over to like Goochland and Amelia and Powhatan. Something much larger than even the current greater Richmond area has become this super urban landscape. And a lot of River City's economy is propped up by these Metacorps, these corporations who specialize in pharmaceuticals, medical services, medical prosthetics, and cybernetics. And this first storyline follows a gang from where River City is the main city. Southtown is a section based on Southside Richmond, the part of town that currently is one of the more underserved parts of the city, and that is Southtown. There is no corporate presence. There's no law enforcement presence. Law enforcement being a little bit of a joke anyway. It's predominantly sold out for mercenary services to the meta corporations, but there's none of that presence in Southtown. And a gang from that part of town pulls a heist to steal some intellectual property from a mega corporation called Kirk the Asshole Cat, who wants to say hello to everybody.
It's a weird name. It's a weird name for a corporation.
But pulls against a company called Neurodyne, who specializes in neural cybernetics. And everything turns out to be much more complicated than they originally anticipated, as they started getting introduced not only to rival gangs who get involved, but also mercenaries who are sort of trying to pull corporate assassinations. One of the biggest players in Southtown, like in that part of the city, a character named Switchboard gets introduced in the third issue here. But it's, you're going to see a lot of people whose lives have been changed or ruined by dependence on technology, or by the kinds of designer drugs that get pushed by major pharmaceutical companies and then sort of get prototyped under the table in areas that are more underserved, like Southtown. And that, combined with a lack of media attention to these areas, means that if you want to get a new pill out on the market and you want to test how effectively addictive it is, go ahead and send it out to Southtown. Or if you're not sure whether your new neural cybernetic is going to mess with customers' brains in a really negative way, go ahead and have it installed into a poor person in Southtown, and see if they end up doing anything that changes the lives of everyone around them in a really dramatic and negative way.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about this. Go ahead, Angela.
No, is this like a cops and good guy, bad guy type scenario, or are we talking about like Toxic Avenger type thing, or where's this headed?
I feel like there's a really blurry line between good and bad perceptively in the series. So I feel like we're rooting for these people, or for the hacker gang at least. Are they good people? Chaotic, neutral-ish.
Twist.
Yeah. A lot of what the Southtown series will sort of prop up as the side to be rooting for is not necessarily the good guys trying to overcome evil. It is the underserved and the underdogs doing everything they can to survive and to remain loyal to their people. And so kind of Fast and Furious,
or even like Demolition Man, the people living under the sewers and then coming up to the main thing. So like slightly like to get a concept of what you're looking at here. And what I also love is like the city itself is a character. Like that's cool. You made it like Gotham. Like the city itself is a living, breathing entity, and it's a big part of this story. So that's really cool that you guys did stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely. And I love a story where your protagonists, their goal isn't to necessarily overcome evil, because just like most more nihilistic sci-fi dystopia, cyberpunk, one thing I've always liked about it is that it represents a world where like the corporate evil is by and large beyond the point where single people are going to actually like take it down. But a lot of times by surviving and by being able to maybe get your mom out of a bad situation, or help some friends just escape and live to see another day, that is a kind of victory that people can really learn to appreciate themselves.
Did either of you guys do the website? Who did the website? Can you say? Are you allowed to say who did the web?
I think it was originally designed by one of Allie's friends, Amy, and I've been kind of like tooling around with it.
Nice. Because I want to get to the website here. Can you guide me through it real quick? My eyes are bad, so you got to be patient with where to guide me. But you got the storyline up here. Storylines.
We got so basically a loose synopsis of each issue so far.
So each issue is about a person in the town and their story in regards to being in Southtown, and
it's a continuous story.
Yeah.
Okay.
This first story arc, which is 10 issues, it starts with Courtney Simmons, who goes around the arcade by the moniker of Dash, because she likes to play the racing games and she's very fast.
Oh, cool.
She as the gang from Southtown is pulling this heist, she is a girl from like the proper part of the town. In Richmond, folks might recognize the Fan, the neighborhood that her character is from. And she ends up, as a young person who doesn't necessarily understand the risks of going into a really bad neighborhood, she ends up getting caught up in Southtown and sort of acts a little bit as a reader's insert. And through her eyes, you get introduced to some of what Southtown really is. But the story mostly follows as she adjusts to life in Southtown. The gang is pulling off the heist against Neurodyne and then also dealing with the repercussions of it. They find out in this in the second issue, very mild spoiler. They find out that the person that they believed hired them is not their actual employer, and the situation is significantly more complicated than that.
There is. I want to say there was a panel or a character in the second issue. He's not really a character at all. I mean, he's a background character, but you drew him so well. I really liked it. He's this fat dude getting tattooed or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why. I really like that dude. I was like, I like this panel.
So immediately shot in the face.
So we have a. So I have a few tattoos. I have a long-standing relationship with my tattoo artist. His name's Abel Killian at Lucky 13, and I highly recommend him. But everyone at Lucky 13 is good friends. I was in a band with Abel. He was a groomsman at my wedding, and
Cool.
and like everyone else there, they're pretty much family for me. And a lot of the guys there expressed interest that they wanted to be drawn into the comic, receiving hilarious and horrific deaths.
Okay,
And
so he was one of them.
yep, he is
Yeah.
one of the piercers.
I don't know. I just like the way like he had this gut, but he was also like jacked up top. I'm like, this is a good character. I like this. And like you said, his face gets blown off. I'm like, well, you know, he's still. I just like the way you drew him. I don't know why it just really stuck out to me. I'm like,
yeah, that's Ian. And in the first character, there is a femme presenting character as Dash is sort of coming into Southtown for the first time, who is in we'll let you read it for yourself, but is in a let's say a very compromising position for the other person involved.
Oh, no.
And that was another that was based on one of the piercers at Lucky 13.
Nice. So here you got so you could pick up both issues on the website, right?
Yeah, we've got digital, and we still have print copies too. So
you could go to the shop here. So you go to
awesome one says, I feel like Scooby is going to come around the corner in this cover. I'm wondering which one that is. Anyway, that's funny.
Where are you?
Pesky
yes.
kids.
So here you have your shop. Oh, you got stuff. You got merch here.
Oh, mugs.
You got mugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Will loves a glass or a mug.
So that's what I've been drinking out of.
I miss. Do you guys remember like when McDonald's did those special glasses for movies? I'm so sad I never bought two and saved one. And I just now look back like I could just anyway.
Well, Burger King did Garfield glasses. We still actually have a couple of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. These are like back in the early 80s.
I know.
You should be very careful about drinking out of those because they are just filled with lead.
Yeah, man. You don't come by that anymore.
There's a reason.
One of my buddies who owned like a wine shop had some of the old like Star Wars original Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi glasses, and I was like, oh, these are cool. He's like, don't drink out of those.
Yeah, don't drink out of them, but also you can flip them now for quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, for anything to keep them for that.
So you have you have the print editions and the digital editions on here, so that's cool. I like that.
Oh, cool.
We got a little 2-pack if you need the catch up.
Nice.
So we'll ship
now,
two of them.
K-pop.
What's up, K-pop?
Hey,
what's up, K-pop? So I used it for my thumbnail. I think K-pop did too. There was a ASM or Spider-Man #1 homage cover.
That was with the Kickstarter for issue 3.
So issue 3 just which Kickstarter
is in progress, releasing soon.
Okay, so issue 3 has yet to come out for Kickstarter.
The Kickstarter just ended.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to keep it open longer, but I set the date forgetting that this was happening.
Well, no, that's not it. Like, here's the thing. Like, I had people booked before. Like, this was the earliest one I could get you guys on, and so if it had been last weekend, we had on Miss Rena and promoting Black Rhapsody too. So if it had been on her slot, like we would have been in time. So really,
we were on late pledging at that point anyway.
Right. And which you can still get it, but you can still get issues 1 and 2 here, and 3 will pop up on the website. So people, bookmark the website, because then when issue 3 comes up onto it, you may not be able to get the limited edition covers or the bells and whistles or the stretch goals, but you get the comic and the story, and that's what this is mainly about: is the story and the art. So,
and also we are going to have a 4th exclusive cover for convention specific.
Nice. Okay.
So our color artist Allie is working on that right now.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I like it. Yeah. So, but you could go, like I said, you go on the website, you even get little trinkets and stuff. So that's cool. But you can get the book. I
cannot
speak highly enough for the basketball jersey, honestly.
Oh yeah, we've got swag as well, and we've got the basketball jersey, we've got sweat shorts, we've got hats, hoodies. So Will and I, like, we have a phrase that we've kind of tied to we've kind of tied to the comic, which is especially nowadays with our current political climate, which is keep RVA punk. And so we've got a hat, a hoodie, and
okay.
Oh, I
and
like that
a
hat.
few
That's
things
actually
like
fun.
that. A few things like that that have the Southtown logo, and they say "Keep RVA Punk," because we hope that people do.
It must have been expensive hiring all these models. Holy crap! No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, check it out, everybody. There's a lot of cool stuff on the merch site. I like the little skull.
Yeah, the stuff at the bottom, the skull shirt is actually the t-shirt design.
I love the winky face.
Sharku, one of the main characters.
Yeah,
that's the tank that she wears exclusively.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no,
not related to Punisher at all.
K-pop says keep turning your friends into characters. So like,
yes, absolutely.
Jason knows.
We did that with Frog G. Granted, they don't look anything like the real people.
And you kill him.
Well, that's not really Billy anyway, for legal reasons. That's not Billy. But
yes, of course.
We've had a few people get drawn in multiple times. Our biggest tier on Kickstarter campaigns is getting drawn in.
The drawn in tier is very popular. Actually, Ink and I didn't have one on Frog G2 for main reason is I drew the whole thing ahead already, so I can't put somebody in. But no, it is a very popular one. People like getting drawn into the book. It's a lot of fun. See yourself, hey, I just got mutilated by a zombie. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, a lot of times what we'll do is like for issue 3's Kickstarter, that drawn in tier will be to get drawn into issue 4.
Right.
So
yeah, that's smart. That's a smart way to do it, and that's what we should have done. But hey, there's next
coming back.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. But no, everybody go check out. Like I said, go to the website. It's pinned to the top of the chat and link description below, and bookmark it, because that way, like, you could get issues 1 and 2 now, but when issue 3 comes onto the website, it'd be like, oh, okay, cool, I could get issue 3. So no fuss, no fuss, no coconuts.
Yeah.
So
later, K-pop leaving.
No, K-pop, you stay.
He's having
I don't care.
Whoever is on last week, Miss Serena is going on her channel this week.
Angela, ask questions. I gotta
you dropped it. I see you dropped the Discord link, so thank you. I put that in the. I'm assuming. I hope that was for everybody. I just realized maybe I should have clarified.
Absolutely. So we have a Discord.
Very cool.
We have a Discord community that's dedicated to obviously talking about the comic and keeping up with us. We'll drop some stuff about the progress and such, but we also I really enjoy cyberpunk fiction and media in general.
Oh, nice.
And especially when you go on social media, and most cyberpunk fan pages and such really don't understand the message of cyberpunk. It's all like, look how cool my robo arm and my laser penis are, and it's
they have those?
it's like it's really glorifying exactly the thing that the cyberpunk media warns against. And so I wanted to have a place where people can drop whether it's cyberpunk memes or news or music or whatever it is. And so anyone who wants to talk about comics or Southtown specifically, or drop memes and music that are cyberpunk related, or just talk and shoot the shit. So we'll we have a community specifically for that. We also have a Twitch channel that we'll post to Discord whenever we're going live, which is typically every Tuesday evening. Sometimes we just chat. Sometimes one of us will play an old retro video game, because Will and I are 400 years old, and so we don't play any.
The best, I think.
Yeah, it's even when we play newer games, they're almost always retro titles. They just dropped Shinobi Art of Vengeance that I have started playing, and
is that our stream this Tuesday?
It might have to be. It's a great game.
I've been playing TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, nice!
It's just so fun.
Cool.
It's just so good.
There's something to say about the older games. There's the nostalgia factor, but also now you just spawn back from where you were and start over. It's no, you died. You go back to the beginning. Good luck, buddy.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more of a challenge, if you will. There were saves, but it wasn't the same. Like you still had to do the whole thing all over again.
Ugh.
I'm very much of the mind that Super Nintendo was the greatest console that ever came out.
Super Nintendo was so good.
Oh, easily was.
To me, that was like the perfect. That was a perfect intersection between like the level of technology that they had and like because it was limited enough that you couldn't sell a game on just look how realistic these graphics are. No, it's a sprite. It's pixels that are meant to look like a monkey who is throwing barrels at alligators. So like you couldn't necessarily sell it just on how high tech this is. You had to have good gameplay to go along with that. But it was also technologically advanced enough that the gameplay could be like a little bit more complicated than what you were getting with the NES and stuff. So to me that was just like perfect. You got Contra 3, which I'm the only Contra fan in the world that 3 is your favorite one.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little weird. I got can't beat one in my opinion, but
I can't beat one for sure.
I don't know who can. Not without the code, you can't beat it.
Oh yeah, there's no way you beat that game with 3 lives. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, come on, son. But I do agree. I like the Super Nintendo was fun. Super Street Fighter 2 was one of my favorite games.
Oh yeah, E-Honda all the way.
Honestly. I'm under the impression Super Metroid is the greatest game ever.
Super Metroid is fantastic too.
Donkey Kong Country 2 for me.
Oh, see, these are all great fun games that and thankfully actually, younger kids can play them with emulators and stuff like that. You don't need the Super Nintendo to actually do. Granted, they could cheat nowadays with the online. But anyway, we're digressing a little bit. But we're gonna. I did get it redirected, so everybody goes over to K-Pop's channel.
Very cool.
It isn't live yet, obviously, but hey. Stick around.
It'll be 5 someday. So
it will be, but hit the reminder button.
Sometime.
And, it'll
5
o'clock. She's go live at 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed this comment, but laser penises already come with warning labels. That's probably not.
I'm waiting on laser eyeballs, but
the good brands don't.
Angela, are there any last questions in the chat for our guests, or do you have any last questions?
A lot of people. A lot of positive stuff, a lot of chats.
No, like I said, everybody go check out the website.
Do you have a big fan base in Richmond, or do you try to, like, when you're there, do you do anything in regards to selling the book, or
like conventions or
conventions or like comic book shops?
We have issues 1 and 2 in all the locally owned comic book shops.
Yeah, very cool.
In Richmond, and Will, I think, has it in Hello Comics in Charlottesville as well.
Yeah, we've got 1 and 2 in Hello Comics. They've been super supportive. We're actually, I don't know about you, Joshua, but I will be at the Hello Comics local comic shop day makers market on September 27th.
Hey,
oh nice!
So excellent.
That'll be fun. They got us a table for it there.
I will be there as well.
Yeah, go everybody. If you're in the area, you can get the comics signed by both the creators.
Charlotte, Virginia, will be there.
That's cool. It's not very common that occurs, so definitely take advantage of it, everybody. I have one last question for both of you. You can answer it in either which order you want. Will, Joshua, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Will, take it away.
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Multiple Man.
Ooh, I like it.
Honestly, he's my favorite X character. But yeah, like you can like duplicate yourself. I mean, as long as it doesn't die, you won't be damaged too badly. That happened in the actual.
Or you don't duplicate yourself so much you forget which one you are.
That's true. But whatever your duplicates learn and you reabsorb them, you have that knowledge now.
Yes.
But also in the famous Peter David run, if one of them happens to be the part of your personality that's a serial killer, that could be problematic.
It could be a little problem. Then you become a truck driver. Just kidding.
Brought it right back around.
Look at that. Joshua.
I think I would have to go with I grew up always wanting it to be telekinesis, but I think I would have to go with Domino's power of probability control.
I thought you were going to say pizza.
The ability to eat pizza and not gain any weight. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Honestly, I would be 100 pounds.
No, Domino's. These are both very different answers from what we normally get.
Yeah,
so
always.
I like it.
Majority of the time, we get something new every time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's great, guys. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
I had
a fun.
Thank you so much. It's great to meet you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Angela. Thank you for highlighting, co-hosting, doing all the things you do. Chat.
I try.
Stick around. Go to K-pop's channel. We love K-pop here. And
just love.
I'm gonna hit. I think this is the right button that you hit to do this.
Goodbye, chocolate mousse. I'll never forget you. Goodbye, Ducroix. Take care of yourself. Goodbye, Deja Vu. I'll always remember you. And I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow.